What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with Game 2 of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks Soul Series Edition Dodgers Padres. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. The neck of the YouTube woods that gave you a smash under 6.5 Ks for Tyler Glasnow. Moved to 6 a lot of places, said it still loved it. He goes for just 3 strikeouts, and he went 15 outs. So legitimately, this speaks to the power of the, well, just research and first game of the season and unpredictable things and just shopping for the best lines. Everything that you should know how to do here if you've been watching this program for a while. But again, I know it's new to the MLB season. I know a lot of you are repeat watchers, but I know that there's a lot of new faces. So let me explain how things work here so that we can run it back and get another lock W. That's for sure. A lean. That's something I'm thinking about betting. I'm going to give you a lean-like lock from every single one of these single individual games. Now, next week, we're going to have my single best bet. It might be a lean like lock. You won't know what it is until, well, it happens. But a lean, that's something I'm thinking about betting. Haven't pulled the trigger. I have an interesting one that I think I'm going to actually end up betting today. A like, that is something that's generally around a half unit for me. Again, this is just something where in MLB, you want to have bankroll management. You don't want to be firing a unit every single day on every single home run prop that I recommend or anything else like that. Again, we are here for the long haul throughout MLB season. And if you stick with the process, if you stick with Odd Shopper, if you stick with everything that we preach over here, you're going to be profitable, just like we absolutely smashed. Was my most profitable sport last season, and it wasn't actually close, which is a little bit interesting in hindsight. And a lock, of course, lock. That's what everybody wants to hear. Don't take it as, oh, this absolutely can't miss, but it means that it's my favorite play that exists on the board. Obviously, that was Tyler Glasnow. Ended up firing that one pretty good. Ended up piecing it together with a couple of other plays as well. I'm not a huge parlay guy, but definitely wanted to get a little exposure with my NBA plays as well. So check out NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Felt pretty good about the last couple of days of work. Victor Wembanyama way under on 39.5 PRA yesterday. Excited to be running that back here today. Well, not with Wemby. Anywho, game 1. Dodgers, great come from behind victory. I've been up since 3 a.m. Can you tell that I am caffeinated? Anyway, it's game 2, and I'm very, very excited to break this one down for you. Producer Jacob, he is on hand in the early morning here as well. Let's get to the picks. Before we dive into game 2, let's do a little bit of a recap here on what we saw in game 1. Again, this counts for the regular season, and then they go back to spring training for a week, and then we get opening day next Thursday. What a time to be alive. But you know what? I'm not complaining. I love baseball. I love money. We're going to try to get a little bit of both here, but we've got the Dodgers, we've got the Padres, 5-2 Dodgers, game 1. You saw an interesting come from behind victory here for the Dodgers. No idea why the Padres weren't throwing all of their high leverage arms. Lots of guys that they could have utilized a little bit earlier. They end up having Brito come out a little bit later. He ends up getting the loss actually officially in just the one start there. He gets 2 runs tagged to him. They don't bring in Estrada early enough. He ends up walking a couple of guys as well, but a huge 8th inning rally. You saw the ball go through the glove of Manny Machado. Pretty insane stuff that, Jake Cronenworth. There we go. Again, up since 3 a.m. There you are. But anywho, friends, really fun baseball game to be taking in. And shout out Tyler Glasnow for being good, but also going under the strikeouts. And I think that's one thing I want to say before we dive into this, because this mirrors it in kind of a similar way. A lot of people said Eric doesn't like Tyler Glasnow on Wednesday morning. That is not true. That is not what I said. I said I like the under on his strikeouts because San Diego's lineup last season, 4th best at avoiding strikeouts. Up and down this lineup, talked through the specific Ks that were going to show up, and yeah, wouldn't you know it, pretty much the exact iteration of the lineup. Nobody with over a 22% K rate throughout it. I think we get something eerily similar. Maybe you get a different catcher. Maybe Campusano comes out. Maybe they go to Higashioka here. I'm not sure, but I do know, breaking this down, that it's not that I won't like Yamamoto or I didn't like Tyler Glasnow in game 1. It just simply was that I liked less on their strikeouts, and we'll get to that here, of course. So ready, cool, great, grand. Game 2, friends. We're going to break it down. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. So insane to see this top of the lineup. They're going to be running the same usual suspects back here against Mr. Phenomenal Joe Musgrove. Now, Joe Musgrove had a really bad first start of the Cactus League, and that was what was fresh in my brain because I just remember watching that very first spring training game. Dodgers and Padres kicked off spring training as it is too. So they're kicking off the regular season here over in Seoul, Korea. They're also, pretty acquainted with each other in the Cactus League. Yet Joe Musgrove not get out of a single out in that first out. He only faced 4 batters, so there's that. But he had shoulder inflammation at the end of last season, so I was paying very close attention to him, mainly because a lot of his underlying numbers were extremely impressive throughout that season. He was the ace until Blake Snell just ran away with it in June, but Joe Musgrove, 33.5% hard hit percentage, 274 xWOBA, meaning that he was expected, based on batted ball data, to come in very, very low in terms of guys on base, weighted runs on base, like incredible repertoire there. A 342 expected slugging is extremely low, and he coupled that with a low walk rate, 5.3%, so he's not putting people on base unnecessarily, and a 24.3% K rate. So as I'm looking at the overall ensemble of Joe Musgrove last season, awesome, feel pretty good about it. I have no idea what to expect here because you saw that first outing there, and then his last outing was outstanding in the Cactus League. He ends up going out, throwing and mowing down dudes, had 5 strikeouts, 2 hits, 2 walks, 0 earned, and 4 2/3 innings. Pretty good stuff from Joe Musgrove. Velocity got back. And again, that fastball is such a big part of what he needs to do. I know that he has a ton of quote unquote junk pitches. He throws a sinker 5% of the time. He throws a changeup 11% of the time, but he's primarily a 4-seamer, cutter, curve, and everything is based off of that velocity. If he doesn't have that velocity, the other pitches don't have the variation that he needs to be successful. So cool, great, grand. Let's talk about the other side of this one, because that is the one I think everybody's excited to see. I'm excited to see. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the highest paid pitcher in MLB history. Yeah, you heard me correctly. 0 innings pitched in the major leagues, $325 million 10-year deal, highest paid, $1 million more than Garrett Cole got paid, who, you're going to see Yamamoto pitch, I think, more than Garrett Cole this season. But I'm just saying, friends, it is terrifying to think of how good this Dodger team could be if this guy ends up being the promised one. Now, it has been a struggle in the Cactus League here for him thus far. Let's go back to Nippon, though. We got the Nippon Professional Baseball League. That's the MLB of Japan. 1.21 ERA over 20-plus starts. I believe it was 25 exactly. He had 22 that went against his record there, but 1.21 ERA. I'm not a big, let's just pull the ERA thing, but I'm going to say that that's pretty good. Throwing it out there, pretty good. In the Cactus League thus far, 3 starts with these Dodgers, 8.38 ERA in just 9.2, so yeah, 9 2/3 innings. Again, got to get back into the vernacular, but I got to throw it in there too. 14 strikeouts to go with it. Limited sample size. I went hard into his pitch mix. I think, this might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but his splitter is close to a Kevin Gausman, Shohei Ohtani type splitter. We're talking any elite pitch that is really, really, really insane. And this frame, he's only 5'10", 175. You're talking about Mr. Shohei Ohtani, who's a towering dude. Yamamoto has more velocity on it. So I'm not really sure how good he's going to be right from the get-go, but I do know that if he stays healthy, he's going to be one of the best pitchers in baseball. And I'm going to be backing him a lot this season. I just know that to be true. Again, we're going to be going less on his strikeouts. Now, let's get to this here, shall we? Let's talk about the lean here right from the get-go. A lot of explaining, a lot of stuff. But again, I'm excited to talk baseball. Hopefully, you can enjoy it too. We're just getting back into the swing of things, baby. Just trying to ease the tension. Anyway, no home runs were hit. That might be the one thing to really take from Wednesday morning. And as such, I really don't know if we're going to see Shohei Ohtani, very, very likely. But the exact thing that I was expecting coming in for the home run board with these 2 starters is exactly what we're going to be running into, especially when you talk about relievers. You can kind of pick your spots. It's only 2 games. Again, the Padres should have been smarter in that 8th inning, but maybe they rectify that here, but I'm kind of hoping not. The lean, friends. I'm going to be going to Will Smith. 1.5 total bases. One interesting thing about Joe Musgrove, going back to his 2023 numbers, is he had crazy reverse splits. And I mean crazy. You go to the advanced data versus lefties last year. 27.6% K rate, 3.36 xFIP. Phenomenal numbers. Only 0.68 home runs per 9. Struck out way more lefties. Now, teams are rolling out lefties, trying to make that work, so he's going to face more over the course of the season in that kind of a regard. But as you look at the data, I mean, there's more righties in baseball, you know what I mean. But 27.6% rate is a pretty ridiculous little number, 0.98 whip. So I'm looking at the right-handed batters, and I was looking at the opening numbers, and I was looking at a little bit, not plate discipline last game or anything of that nature, but I do think Will Smith getting plus money on over 1.5 total bases here is a little bit incorrect to me. I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. I said I'm probably going to. I want to see if this number maybe rises a little bit, because Joe Musgrove against righties, friends, just a 20.6% K rate with a 4.11 xFIP and a 1.33 whip. 282 batting average against righties, 215 against lefties. Will Smith, the catcher of the Dodgers, pretty noted. Now, I don't think they go to Austin Barnes. I do kind of want to see that lineup here as well. I guess that would kind of matter. They're not going to go to Austin Barnes, considering it's just 2 games. Will Smith, the way better catcher in just about every regard. Not that Austin Barnes is bad. Not bad. But Will Smith, I very much like the over of his 1.5 total bases, but put it in the lean category because these next 2, I like a little bit more. We broke him down already. My like is definitely going to be the under on another Dodgers pitcher here, Yamamoto, a pitcher I expect to back a lot this year. The same way I expect to back Tyler Glass now. Now, they're going to be a very public team, so we're going to have to be very careful about picking our spots. We're going to have to pick a lot of run lines that might be uncomfortable, and I can tell you one thing. It's not like people don't know that this is the World Series favorite or that this is the best constructed team on paper in baseball, but it is. And this is somebody that I hope doesn't have a great start to the season, so we can get better prices on him in some of these spots against other players. Again, Yamamoto, a pretty decent favorite against Joe Musgrove, one of the better pitchers in baseball for the last couple of years. So under 4.5 Ks, I like it. You know what else I like? I like Hot Chopper a lot. And right now, it's just $1, friends. $1. First week of OS Premium when you sign up down below. Use code MADNESS. Again, a market-based approach. We're basically taking all of the books that you have available in your state. You can group it by your state, and we're finding the best bets for you at the top of the board with OS rating, with positive EV. We're talking about everything you should be betting on a daily basis with your bankroll. You can put it in by the size of your bankroll and know exactly how much you should be betting on every specific play. And hey, obviously, we got Mr. Edie there on the screen for a reason, friends. It is March Madness. We've got college basketball coming down the pipeline. Purdue, we'll see. Can they finally get over the hump? Can they finally put it together? Coaching's always a problem, but hey, Edie's pretty good at basketball. $1 to get all of our best plays. You can jump in the premium Discord for a week as well. Hey, you want to jump in today and talk a little bit of baseball tonight? I was in there posting my plays, talking with the people in the NBA and MLB streets last night. Pretty successful little day. Hopefully we can be running it back here on Wednesday night / Thursday morning. $1. Oh, and then also BetMGM. Let's talk about that quick too, because it's a phenomenal deal. BetMGM down below. First bet safety net up to $1,500. Basically, this means you can bet from $1 to $1,500, whatever you feel comfortable with. Maybe that's $20. Maybe that's $100. Maybe that's $500. I'm not sure what your bankroll is. All I know is for me, if I'm trying to build my bankroll from the get-go, if I'm just starting sports betting, or if I have, a pretty fractional bankroll, I might be looking at making a big swing over at BetMGM, where again, my first play up to $1,500 will get back to me in bonus bets if that first bet loses. So great opportunity at BetMGM if you are so inclined. Sign up for it down at the video description box below. Alrighty, y'all, let's get to the locked. All right, we talked Will Smith. Over 1.5 total bases. Again, that is something that is going to get bet as soon as I get off of this, more than likely, because again, Austin Barnes isn't going to catch. Yamamoto, under 4.5 Ks. Doesn't mean I don't like him, because my lock is the Dodgers on the money line and the run line here, friends. This is just a crazy good baseball team, and yet at the same time that Yamamoto, I'm hoping he struggles to some extent. This is such a juggernaut team going up against a guy who came off of shoulder inflammation, got shut down at the end of last season, had a really bad first start of the Cactus League against him, looked decent in his last outing, but against like the AAA Seattle Mariners, I'm not reading a whole hell of a lot into it. I don't think he's going to be very long for this game, Musgrove, if I'm going to be honest for it. And then San Diego's bullpen just isn't all that impressive. Watching them last night, watching that 8th inning, again, high leverage situations, I'm not sure what they were doing. I'm not sure why they didn't utilize some of their better arms, but I know they're going to save them up to try to use them in a leverage spot today, or you would think. I don't really care. This is an LA Dodgers team that is set up for mass destruction here, and anytime you're going to be getting something close to minus 150 on the money line period with the Dodgers this season, you're going to have to take it. I'm going to put a little sprinkle on the minus 1.5. That would go into the more of the like category, but I know there's a lot of people out there that don't want to be firing, minus 165s, or depending on what the number is that you're looking at at the books available to you. But for me today, I look at this lineup on the Dodgers side. It's just a complete mismatch. And Yamamoto, he has been struggling, no doubt about it, but you're not going to get these kind of prices all year long. So kind of like not hedging, so to say, because again, I do like Yamamoto stuff so much, but I like the under 4.5 Ks. And hey, if he ends up struggling, won't be completely dead here, but going to need him to just kind of do the Tyler Glasnow thing. 5 innings, 3 Ks, that would be perfect. Let's run it back here, friends. Dodgers money line, they get it done, sweeping the Soul Series. I'll see you back here for the regular season in 1 week. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Again, MLB. So fun to have it back. So fun to be talking something. Kind of gets me giddy whenever you get a new sport starting back up. It's going to make some money, friends. That's for sure. Go down to the video description box below. Let me know if you tailed on Tyler Glasnow. Let me know if there's a home run play that you actually think has good value, but seems as though the board, it's taking into account some of the struggles that both of these guys have had, and the fact that they're going to be flipping it over to some lesser bullpen arms maybe early, some higher leverage arms later, and the prices are just out of whack. So not going to be going to the home run market here this time around. Producer Jacob, thank you for getting up bright and early, taking some time out of your day to put an MLB video together for the people. It's great to have you all here. Until next time, friends, until the regular season officially starts with 48,964 games next Thursday. That'll be fun. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Thursday. Kegs and eggs, baby. Kegs and eggs.